I arrived at the venue earlier than planned, hoping for a few quiet minutes before the guests started trickling in. The hall smelled faintly of lilies and varnish, an innocent scent that somehow sharpened the ache I'd carried for years. I had imagined this day differently, every detail carefully considered, every corner of the room a reflection of my choice, my control. Then came the call. "You might want to check the date," said my wedding coordinator, her voice hesitant. I froze, the words settling like stones in my chest. A glance at the invitation list confirmed it. My sister had booked her wedding on the same day, the same hour, nearly the same venue. My parents' casual shrug over the phone echoed years of quiet favoritism. Their explanation, half-hearted and delivered as if I'd understand, did little to soften the sting. "You'll understand," my mother had said, and all I could do was nod. For a moment, I let myself imagine the scene, a chaotic collision of family, flowers, and vows. But I forced myself back to my breathing, to the order I could still maintain. I had been underestimated my whole life, but here, I could at least hold on to that. I moved through the preparations with deliberate calm. My reflection in the mirror caught a faint tremor at the corner of my eyes, but I ignored it. There was power in restraint, in silence, in letting others reveal their own shortcomings. Memories slipped in. Birthday candles blown out by my sister while I watched, promotions acknowledged with applause for her while I stood quietly beside her. Every overlooked moment compounded today's injustice. The guests arrived. Some whispered, casting curious glances at the empty chairs that should have been filled. My parents arrived last, their faces slightly pale when they saw where they were, realizing in an instant that their maneuver had not gone unnoticed. The external authority, the officiant, intervened. A quick, practical discussion of logistics exposed the double booking, and for the first time, the advantage shifted quietly but unmistakably. My sister's carefully orchestrated claim to attention unraveled, not with fury or spectacle, but through simple, undeniable truth. I caught my parents' eyes across the room. There was a flicker of comprehension, regret perhaps, or maybe just surprise. I didn't need them to apologize. My satisfaction was internal, unspoken, earned without theatrics. As I walked down the aisle, I felt the weight of years lifting, replaced by a subtle, disciplined triumph. The ceremony unfolded with quiet dignity, my voice steady, my hands steady. There was no celebration, no dramatic confrontation, only the affirmation that I could proceed on my terms, that my day mattered, that I had agency in the face of neglect. Afterwards, in the brief silence before the reception, I let myself reflect. My sister's wedding continued elsewhere, her plans disrupted but not destroyed. My parents were present but restrained, aware now that their favoritism had consequences. I didn't rejoice in her discomfort. There was no satisfaction in her embarrassment. Instead, there was a calm recognition that I had reclaimed a small but undeniable piece of control, and that mattered more than any public vindication. Walking through the empty hall later, touching the polished chairs, the faint scent of lilies lingering in the air, I understood the complexity of family, the nuanced shifts of power, and the quiet resilience that had brought me here. Some wounds would remain, sibling rivalry would continue, and parental partiality would never fully disappear. But today, I had maintained my dignity, quietly but undeniably, and for now, that was enough.